Hi folks, Jeff Rugrock here, all things prints this semester. Just going to introduce you to a few more what I'm referring to as information lines. I'm just making a cross here to start. These are crosshairs, because for the first one, dimension extension lines, I'm going to use parts of a circle to demonstrate that. And then we have a little drawing here to show you some break lines, which are just used for if something's too large to fit on your page, you can cut a chunk out of the middle. And then a few different leader lines, which are normally irregularly shaped lines. Anyways, we're going to start with the circle. I created my crosshair, so I can then put my compass on here. This is an object line, the circle, so it should be fairly dark and bold. I'm having trouble keeping it open for some reason. There we go. So there's our circle. We can, of course, open it up and put in the circumference as well, just to mark it. This would be a much lighter line. Something along those lines. So that's our basic circle. Now I'm going to drop down to the leader lines. Leader lines just are meant to draw the reader's eye from a term to the associated part on the object. So there's three different types of leader lines I'm going to show you. There are absolutely many, many more. The first leader line I'm going to show you is simply a little swirl with an arrowhead on it. And you could say that that is a leader line. So it's just drawing the reader's eye to something. Another one you might like to do involves an angled portion and then a straight portion that you would put your term on top of. And then a little arrowhead, and you can have any kind of arrowhead. You could color that all in if you wanted to. I normally wouldn't bother. And then the other kind of leader line that what I sometimes refer to as a lightning bolt. I don't know if that's the best term for it, but just something fairly irregular. I don't even know if I like this one, but whatever. My point is, leader lines, you just want them to look a bit oddball, so it's not easy to confuse them with a part of the object. So the objects I wanted you to mark here, I wanted you to mark them with dimension extension lines, and these are related things. So in this case, we have a dimension line for the diameter of a circle. So we're going to do the dimension line for the diameter of a circle. And that I'm just going to put in here. It doesn't touch the object. It's lying inside the object but doesn't touch it. And then you just might write diameter. Diameter right through there. Another one you might use is an extension line. And it just draws reader's eye out from an object. So in this case, I'm doing half the diameter from there to there, which would be the radius. And it always goes, or extension lines always go in concert with dimension lines. And I'm just doing those little arrowheads on the bottom. You notice I've done a bunch of different types of arrowheads. This is just a single-sided one that I'm using a 60-degree angle on. Anyways, that works fine. And then the last one you could do is circumference. And I'm just going to put that in here. Holy cow. No, I'm going to put it in here. And it's a long enough word, I'm going to underline it to keep myself straight. And you might be thinking to yourself, why does this look like it's all over? It's because I'm going to finish it off with markers. So we have diameter, radius, and circumference. So we talked earlier about having about embolding our lines in the process, and that's what I'm going to do here. Is I'm going to embolden my lines. I can't put a marker into that compass, so I'm just going to do that by freehand. And my object is going to be my boldest. And by doing this in marker, it actually makes it really easy to erase. You're going to find it a little bit more difficult if you don't use marker. And I am assuming you're not going to. So there's our object, there's our circle. And then I'm going to take a smaller marker and do things such as our dimension line here. And I'm using an abbreviation for diameter. See, when you've got that all finished, you can then start to take your eraser and clean it all up. I'm not going to do all of this for you, because you might want to have a different drawing style as well. And that's totally okay. I just want my extension lines to start and stop at the same spot. Get the gist of it. Anyways, I'll stop there. But you can tell, once you're done, you can start to erase all the lines that you don't want. That's the idea. You clean it right up. So that's your leader lines, your dimension extension lines. 1, 2, 3. I got the radius on there, circumference, and it's all capital letters. So the last one here is the different break lines. So if I wanted to put a 100-foot piece of pipe on here, single line drawing, that would be easy to do. And I could even dimension it. So I'll put a little extension line here. Extension line there. I could put 100 feet. But of course I can't show 100 feet on here. There's just no way to show 100 feet. Oops. So in this piece of pipe, you could put, again, like the leader lines, you could put a little swirl in there. And that's called a brake line. You could put a little brake, little lightning bolt. And those are called brake lines. Then, when you go to do your object, which is a heavier, I'm going to use that heavier marker again. You leave the space between the two. You leave the space between the two empty. I consider the brake line to be a information line, so I'm going to use the smaller marker for this one. Again, you'll be doing this all with pencil. I'm going to stop there again, but you can finish this off by erasing the stuff you don't want. And now I have a piece of pipe that's 100 feet long drawn right on this little tiny piece of paper, simply because I put a brake line in it. Obviously, if the line only needs to be 3 inches, that would fit in there, so I wouldn't use it. So I've used my drafting tools. Title block is done. Each lecture line is done with a sample of some description. Anyway, so you can finish cleaning this all up, embolden it, darken it, all those sorts of things like I've been doing with my marker, and that's it. So that's another drawing done. See you soon.